Mr. Speaker, I rise today to congratulate California state officials, as tomorrow is the big day when the state's election results will be certified. Tomorrow, December 13th. Of course, I say this in jest. There is absolutely no congratulations in order for finalizing election results 5 weeks after the election. Because of California's glacial pace of counting votes, several races for Congress and the state legislature remained unresolved weeks following the November 5th election. Not to mention countless local races, city council, school board, board of supervisors. Candidates had to wait in torturous suspense, unable to effectively begin a transition if they were on their way in, or make plans for another job if they were on their way out. Just to give you a sense of what folks who were waiting on election results had to go through. You know, they'd have to wait for these batches of votes to be unveiled, maybe once a week, maybe twice a week, maybe 3 times a week, depending on the county, maybe hundreds of votes at a time. And then, you know, you had to ask, what kind of votes is it that are being counted right now? Is it the late absentee votes? Is it the voting center votes? Is it the drop box votes? Is it provisional ballots? Is it conditional ballots? Is it cured ballots? What do I mean by cured ballots? Well, you're familiar with precinct walking, where you go out and knock on doors to try to convince people to vote for you. In California, that actually happens after the election as well, because if signatures are deemed not to match the voter file, then there's an added amount of time to submit a new signature to cure your ballot, so people actually go to door saying, we need to get you to sign again to cure this ballot. California also allows for votes that arrive at elections offices to be counted up to a week after the election. And so folks who are on the ballot and their families and their supporters and everyone else are watching this process with tabs open on their computer for different counties, having to wait to find out whether they've won or lost their race. But the implications go much further than those who are on the ballot, because for a time, the entire balance of power here in Washington was left in doubt, with control of the House of Representatives in doubt because of California's extremely slow vote counting. Imagine if California were a swing state. The presidential election could remain undecided for a month after Election Day. We could relive the 2000 recount experience every single election. Adding to the absurdity, the California state legislature actually began its new session swearing in new members on December 2nd. So these are both in state law. We're going to swear in our new members on December 2nd, but we're going to finish counting votes on December 13th. This farce has made California a national laughingstock. It's one thing to fail at basic governance tasks like building roads, storing water, or keeping the lights on. But we should at least be able to expect our government to conduct the elementary arithmetic of tallying ballots on which democracy depends. As this process dragged on over the last several weeks, you had elections experts and people on all parts of the political spectrum calling for reform in California. For example, one left-leaning election analyst said I always vote straight ticket Democrat, but I will actually vote for any Secretary of State candidate, red or blue, who promises to streamline the election process in California and facilitates getting our ballots counted and reported faster. I am so done, he said, adding that the tabulation process is, quote, a joke. I am working with Congressman Jay Obernolte to set clear deadlines for counting votes. For example, 90% have to be counted within 3 days of the election. This will force state officials to make the necessary changes to meet those deadlines in a way that every other state, by the way, has already done. All 49 other states, red or blue, managed to count their votes much faster and more competently than California. This is a necessary change to restore trust in our election process, and I look forward to getting this legislation passed and signed into law in time for the 2026 election.